broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Watching me, and I had no problem. Unpurse your lips, Joe Flippo.
No, that's what I gotta do.
Welcome to the Blacklist AfterBuzz After
If you
Show.
pursed your lips, you just said it right.
I'm Joe Braswell. I'm joined by the always snarky Joe SanFelippo.
It's nice to be here with you guys.
And the always lovely and beautiful
That's me. I hope.
Julie Cearley.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm I'm here and I'm doing my thing, and I'm here doing the Blacklist episode 14.
15.
Damn it. Episode 15, 113, the Drexel.
The Drexel.
Is he
the
done?
Drexel?
Is it Drexel?
Is it
Or is
just
it just Drexel?
He's just Drexel.
It's just Drexel.
It's just
Drexel, drop it,
Like,
boom.
like Banksy.
Yeah.
He's like
Just
he's like the evil Banksy.
He is a Banksy.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on the Blacklist After Show. All you guys joining us on YouTube and iTunes, thank you very much. We're glad to have you here. All of our folks on the chat rooms, Jenny and Marcella and Todd and Tyrant, thank you so much for Joseph Ortiz. Thank you so much for joining us. We're happy to have you here. I do want to get one little bit of personal business, not so much personal business, just one little bit of business out of the way. So we've been doing the Blacklist for 3 seasons now. Mm-hmm. This is season 3. We've been doing podcasts for AfterBuzz as a group for almost 4 years now.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Would you look at that?
We kind of do our thing, and we have a unique way of doing it, which is we're all friends. We know each other very well. We watch the show. We sort of recap the show in our own way, with our own sensibilities, and it may not be to everyone's liking, but we've done, I don't know, I would say hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and millions of views and listens on iTunes, and some people like us, some people don't, and we will continue to do what we want to do. But I will say this: we're probably not going to change the way we do it. And I know some people don't like us. I'm talking to you, Jasmine Delight. It's totally fine. But, we're going to continue doing what we do. And those of you who do like what we do and how we do it, thank you very much. If not, I'll say this out loud. There are other podcasts, Blacklist podcasts, that are just straight down the line giving you info. Yeah, I said it.
No, he did. He said it. I heard it.
But we're recapping our way. And we love the show. We're very happy to be here and talk about the show. So there's that. So thank you for those of you who are joining us and who do love us for us. Anyway,
Just
how about
for
that?
being us, loving us the way we are.
So, Marcia Rostova is 100% alive.
Yeah.
So is Katerina Rostova.
I mean, that's what I meant.
That's what you meant.
Katerina Rostova is 100% alive. This is why people don't like us.
This is why.
We don't get the information right.
It's the person.
Katerina Rostova is 100% alive.
Yes, she is.
We know Masha,
They both are.
Masha and Katerina. That is, that's a kind of a cool bombshell at the end. I'm kind of starting with the end. We'll get into Banksy Drexel in a second here, but that was kind of a dope. First of all, great painting by my man. I thought he was kind of a hack.
Skills.
I thought he's kind of a hack at like staging staging performance art dead people, but he's kind of a dope painter, right?
He's got some skills.
Well, yeah.
I don't know that his like staging of dead people, like the wine glass. I don't know that was like the coolest.
It worked for me. I thought it was great.
All right, but
Showed off the hipster boots and the bird and it's all there.
we talked about like we all had our own interpretations of what we saw in that photo. I'm starting with the photo, by the way, and then they started the painting at the end. I saw it, and we all know it's Lizzie standing over Reddington's grave, obviously. But we had all had our interpretations of what was in the hands. I'm interested to hear what you guys think as well. I thought it was blood, like Lizzie's got blood, the blood of Reddington on her hands, and that's that. And you thought it was.
I thought she was throwing dirt on the grave, as you do traditionally at a funeral. Throw dirt on the grave.
The dirt throwing.
The dirt throwing.
Right.
That's what they call it.
You
Is that
thought
what they call it?
Yeah.
And you thought her hands were
No.
melting.
What's that?
You thought
I
her
thought
hands were
she was melting. I thought the idea being that No, that's what I think. I think
He got existential.
that she's being melted, erased by him.
Oh.
Okay. Ooh. Oh.
Okay.
Or maybe she's throwing dirt. You know.
I got little
traditional dirt throwing.
Traditional dirt throwing,
man.
guys.
I can't.
No, I mean he's an accidental artist who kills people for art, and definitely goes with the traditional dirt throwing.
Right.
Whatever.
So now we know what.
Don't hit me! Don't stab me! I've seen you stab people.
You have to see me stab people.
Yeah, that's what happened to poor Nando, by the way.
Oh,
Stab,
Nando.
stab.
Nando.
Sorry.
R.I.P. No, Nando, we miss you. Nando is alive and well, by the way, folks who wonder about Nando.
Ran the
Nando,
marathon last week.
Yeah, he
Nando
did.
ran the
Killed
marathon
it.
last week. He's doing well. He's working over at another place.
There you go.
He's working over Yahoo. He's at Yahoo
okay.
doing his thing, and it's fine. And Nando loves us, and we love Nando. So sorry, he misses you all.
I didn't really stab him.
No, Julie didn't stab him.
Not fatally, at least.
Not fatally.
Not in the most legal sense.
So let's get into this episode. So we ended last episode with Tom, like sort of on his presumably maybe his deathbed, like he's in a lot of trouble. He was in bad shape. That Tom.
Killing Tom. They're not killing Tom.
Nice try, Braz.
He was in bad shape. I said he's gonna kill him this episode. I said he's gonna
See, I
go.
like the way he hedges his bets. This way, if the show goes for 15 seasons and eventually he dies, he'll be like, I told you. I told you.
Excuse me, Yellow Blouse. Like you're the queen of hedging bets, I would say. Anyway, so we left him on that happening. We left that, Red saying, "Oh, this just gets worse and worse."
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to figure out what this all means and how this is all ties into the larger picture. But before we do that, we have to be introduced to a new Blacklister. Blacklister number 113.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe, you said before we hit the show that we've all agreed that the list is BS.
Goofball.
Right? The list is list.
If the numbers just disappeared tomorrow, I will not ask any questions.
Right.
Just stop.
So you're saying just the no
Just
secondary.
Drexel.
Although if you go to NBC.com, if you go to NBC.com, you go to the Blacklist on NBC.com, they have all the Blacklisters in their numbers listed, and it's kind of a cool thing.
They've got like a board, right? They got the whole.
They got a big board.
Yeah.
You like apprehended, deceased, at large. It's kind of cool. So it's kind of fun to play
That's
along.
fun. Yeah, I get that. That's fun. I just can't see any rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not writing the show. Maybe there still is.
You know
rhyme
what?
or reason.
At the very end of this, they may be like, "See, boom," and then we'll be like, "Oh, our bad. We didn't
And I
know."
wonder if they'll be able to fill out, because we're down to 113. So I wonder if they're going to be able to fill out the empty holes in the Blacklist. Because obviously we have a top 10. And we had, I think 7 was the highest. I have to look it up. Can't remember. We did this before.
We got pretty high up there.
Yeah. But I think Tom was like high. What was Tom?
I don't remember.
Keen was like
He was
up
way
there.
up there.
I'll look this up while one of you talk. But so anyway, so we had to figure out the Drexel is number 113. With this cool opening scene, we see we now know as a sort of a .com startup guy talking on the phone about his sort of newly acquired money and his newly acquired house and then everything that's happening, and he gets strangled by a guy.
It's his neck brokified.
Well, neck brokified.
Neck brokified. I like
Brokified
that.
neck.
I mean that's different. Strangling takes time. Neck brokification.
That's true.
That's
and then he gets propped
It's
up.
a horrible sound, isn't it? And then you got to be strong to do that. You can't,
Yeah.
I mean, our boy Drexel is an artist, but he's not effing around. That
No,
takes a
he's
lot
definitely-
of torque.
Drexel, by the way, kind of a scary guy.
I think great. And I don't remember who played him. I didn't write it down.
Should've been you.
Guest star.
Should've been you.
No, I'm not that good. He was great. He had like the tortured and the scared and
Yeah.
I thought he was
And the
great.
eyes. It's all the eyes with that guy.
Props
So he
to
was
our man Drexel.
until he did the move, and when he posed the guy up, and then he did this move. I was like, oh, I don't know. That's like perfect. I thought that was kind of like much, but whatever.
Yeah, well, he didn't. Come on, that wasn't his choice. And he set it up. He's an artist. He's framing his
He is
deal.
framing his shot.
He's framing a shot. His shot was framed. So I don't want to get into whether or not the performance art was any good or not. Like I thought it was like I didn't whatever. But he's posed this guy up. We later find out that he's doing his performance art. He's this extreme underground artist named Drexel, who's clearly like a Banksy, as we've already referenced, who is raging against the machine and letting his political views and everything else be known by these elaborate art pieces he does, usually involving someone's death. And we also find out that he is being he's not being promoted, but also being about to be interviewed by another super underground website called Rigby, right?
Yeah.
And Rigby's about to interview him, and the reporter Ramona is going to have access to him. They're going to interview him, and that's that. And that is a lead that that ultimately leads them to find him. But I want to go back, and this whole world of this dark web world, like this seems to be like a lot of things that seem to be coming up a lot in pop culture. This is what's happening on Homeland with the whole like secret website and the Edward Snowden type person who's releasing the information and this underground world of the hackers. This is coming up obviously in Mr. Robot and some other things. I think that like I don't know if this is real or not. Is this, I mean, not that it matters, but I wonder. It makes me wonder: is this real? I'm just positing something entirely different.
You know what's funny about it? I thought the same thing, and you know what? I sat down and I was like, well, I'm going to look up some of this dark web stuff, and then I had that moment. I was like, no, I'm not. I'm absolutely not, because I'm a nice middle class kid who's not going to do anything to invite the FBI to kick down my door.
Right. Fall down that rabbit hole?
No, not interested. So it was very interesting to kind of like just to see I don't know, just a psychological experiment. Would you even, from the safety of your own house, try and find something on the internet that you knew to be really dark, nasty, and horrible? I was not interested.
Yeah, it's crazy. I know people who do it. I know people who get like inhalers and other things, for their asthma on the dark web.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh man. I'll tell you about the dark web.
You tell me about it later on.
Oh. Yes, I'll tell you about it later. It's dark. And it's webby. Anyway, so we'll get into more of that later. Then we have this confrontation with which I love, with Red and Lizzie, where Lizzie's trying to find Tom. She hasn't heard from him. She's getting worried. She's asking Red about him, and he says, "I'm not your Tom problem. Tom is your Tom problem."
That's a great line.
It's the best line of the whole.
But it's so true.
It's so true. It's one of the best lines I've heard in a long time. He has a couple of those in there. He also said the Jackson Pollock line is also good too.
It's a good line.
Yes, that was a good line.
Red's good for some good lines, by the way. But before I continue to yap on, what did you guys think of this episode? What did you think of the episode in general, Joe?
I liked it. I thought it was a good episode. I was involved, and you know what? Like I said, the actor who played Drexel, whose name we got to look up because he was so solid. I think he sold it, because I think for a hot minute there when it first started,
his name is Daniel London.
Daniel London. Woo! So Daniel is, Daniel London. Excellent work, and like I said, he made the character work. And he made the whole episode work, because if he wasn't right, if he'd been overly dramatic or undershot it or whatever, the whole thing would have felt really forced and really creepy and weird and off. But I bought him. I thought he was great, and I thought the casting was terrific. I thought his size and the way he played the character was right, and I think he made the whole thing work. If he'd been differently cast, I think it would have been a goofy episode. I think it was one of those ones that's fraught with danger, but it worked.
Did you like the episode?
I did.
Me? Yeah, I did actually like the episode. I agree with you on the casting on Drexel. Also with the casting of Edelson. Isn't that our guy from Homeland Season 1?
No, not him.
Really?
Pretty sure. You're talking about Tom, the guy who plays, that's not him.
Brody's buddy? No?
I don't think that's him.
I don't know. Look that one up.
Okay.
Anyways, whether or not it was, I thought he was really solid as well. I thought he did a great job. Aside from that, I do like some of the fun things that they dropped in on us, the things about Katarina and the fact that he called her an enemy, which is really revealing. That was extremely revealing. All this time,
I think we've been working on the assumption that they're somehow in cahoots.
Somehow in cahoots, whether it's in love or they're working together. But to refer to her as an enemy, that was a huge bombshell.
Yeah.
So that was kind of fun. I enjoyed Red in this episode. I enjoyed Dembe as always. I'm so happy that Tom survived. Usual Lizzie waffling, but I'm used to it now. I'm going to stop complaining about it. I love you, I hate you, I love you, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. Scream at you in the streets, and I'm going to kiss you in an art exhibit.
I want to take the time to...
Maybe I'm going to complain about it. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
I just said I wasn't going to, and then I did.
Fine.
But no, that's it. It's done. You know
what?
I don't understand. Okay, actually, hold on. No. He goes... Tom goes on this huge heist, steals tens of millions of dollars worth of diamonds, and she gives no shits. None whatsoever. She gets no shits about it. Well, she's just willing to accept him anyway.
She loves him.
I think they've gone beyond all that. They've moved on to a whole different level of functioning.
It's the most unhealthy thing I've ever seen, and all she wants is this healthy,
so you're
stable,
saying if
adorable little relationship.
So if Eric came home and he was like, honey, I just stole $10 million worth of diamonds, you wouldn't be like, let's go off to Bora Bora. You'd be like, oh my God, this is a terrible thing you did. Our relationship is in jeopardy because you have no moral compass and you just stole $10 million in diamonds.
Well, that's Eric, and he's a really nice guy.
He is a really nice guy.
Tom has beaten her up. She's tried to kill him.
So if you were analyzing this as a therapist, you would probably start to wonder if Lizzie is right with the world, if her head is right. I understand. That makes sense. I want to say props to Megan Boone because she's very pregnant and she's covering a very, very heavy workload. And she's, you got it when you're that pregnant, you're starting out in the morning, you're tired. Everything's a little bit harder than it normally is, and you're carrying. I mean, the hours, the hours that they're putting in on that set are huge.
Yeah.
And she's doing all that very pregnant, and that cannot be easy. And so props to her. That's hard work. I'm impressed.
Well, that was nice of you.
Yeah.
That was very nice.
Also, I have to say, when did wrestler get so effing judgy? In the last few episodes, he's had one little scene where he said something super quippy and super judgy
about the adoption.
And today was super sexist. Or last night's was how, what did he say? Something about she's gonna change her mind. Every woman has an inherent need to have a child.
He did. He said some 1963 shit, didn't he?
That's pretty consistent with who he is.
It's unexpected. You don't really hear that in 2016 on television.
Last week he was saying how he would never give his child up for adoption.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I've noticed I didn't see any of you at church on Sunday. I'm really concerned about where you were.
So I will say this.
I'm done with my rant.
I'm not going to equally rant because it goes without saying we're on record of how we feel about Lizzie Keane as a character. But I will say this. I do want to read something. Jodie Walker does these excellent recaps on EW, which we all probably all read and y'all read as well. Jodie Walker does a recap, and Jodie is a she. Does this has this thing about Liz, and it talks about perfectly what we're talking about. I'm gonna read it. After she finds out that Tom's in the hospital and the whole thing, and she goes out to find when she confronts Red in the street, she says, Liz then sets out to find Red and scream at him like a teenager who's mad at her dad for messing up her first date with a boy. While I appreciate the sentiment, I am not your Lizzie I'm not your Lizzie to control and be told what to do. It's pretty misguided to think that it's Red's fault when Tom nearly got himself killed by his ex-girlfriend during a diamond heist. Of course, Liz didn't know all the details until Red told her. He also adds that Tom is reckless and he's not worthy of being her husband, blah, blah, blah. And not worthy of being a husband, and sure as hell not worthy of raising a child. I add on a small cheer from my couch. Now, that's how I felt. Like she, if Jodie's cheering from her couch and she's doing these recaps from EW, and Jodie's pointing all these things about Lizzie, it's not just us. I just want to say, so don't feel bad.
Thank God.
It's not just us.
Thanks, Jodie.
Like everyone is sick of Lizzie's defiance towards Red. But again, I props to the writers and everything else because it didn't last. Like Red was able to. We'll get to this in a second, but she did come back around. She didn't sort of stick at this I hate you, Red. And which it seems to be.
Well, because then he saved Tom's ass.
Yes, he did.
So now I love you again, Red.
So just get to these plot points. So the Drexel's doing this thing. The Rom finds out about this super secret NSA spyware called RAT, remote access Trojan, which has somehow been leaked, which allows people to access all kinds of cameras, webcams, and everything else, and see what's going on. They immediately go to the NSA to check out if that tech exists. He tries to deny it and then says it does, and it's a big deal, and it's been leaked. So we have this out on it's out in the open. The tech's out in the open. He then tracks it to a guy named Aaron Mulgrew.
Aaron Mulgrew,
yeah. Who he finds. I can't these names.
No, that was such a good scene. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
man.
It was a great scene.
Like somebody's about to lose their job.
Right.
I gotta go.
Yeah, that foot is a good foot chase, even through the cubicles. It's almost comedic.
He's fast, man.
He's going tipping over file cabinets.
Yes.
Right? He's taking a piece of paper, throwing it at him like a flying piece of paper.
It's kind of funny.
I'm I don't think it's gonna stop wrestler. It's it was really comedic, and then he does a key card, closes the door, slick. And then he gets Navabi'd. Boom! Yeah.
Oh, she Navabi'd the shit out of him.
That was a cool little fun scene.
Yeah,
so
I went back and watched it a couple times. So I laughed out loud.
It was very comedic, him running through there and throwing staplers at him and stuff.
And the look on his face too when he closed the gate, the triumph, the nerd triumph, was ha ha, and then whang.
Yeah.
Oh.
So
the nerd triumph.
So then he also comes off as this. He turns out to be another sort of Edward Snowden character.
Yeah, a great character.
Which but this is I've seen a lot. I watch a lot of TV. So these characters.
Who, you?
No. They're popping up in every one of my shows.
I know.
Every one of my shows, it's like the information has to be. I mean, Homeland did a whole season about it.
But I think that's good. I love the idea.
The new Bourne movie's about that.
I love the idea of setting up this idea, creating a new archetype hero. Or anti-hero, however you want to say it. Somebody
or villain.
I guess it depends on your point of view, but somebody who's looking at technology like that and going, this really should not be. And I really agree. I think that's terrifying shit.
Yeah. So the answer isn't just to like release it into the world.
No, I'm not
that's
saying,
my
but I like the idea that there's a tech genius of conscience. And I think it plays very nicely into what Tim Cook is doing right now with Apple, saying, "Oh, we're not going to build a back door into the iPhone,
right? So
that you guys can look at, so you guys can do that because once that's built, that's built."
Although we digress, John McAfee, who's come out and saying, "I got a team of hackers. This is real. Who can crack that thing?" So hey, Apple, I'll tell you what, government, I'll hack it.
Well, that's McAfee, right? Hasn't that been his business model since Jump? That little bastard. I can't stand those people.
He's got a guy, and this is, I mean, we're digressing, but this stuff is real because he's describing his band of hackers, and it's really out of movies. Like, I've got a guy with a 24-inch green mohawk. I've got a guy with 10-inch gauges. I've got a guy with tattoo faces, face tattoos, and they'll work for $500,000. I'm like, this is like a movie.
No, it's madness, man. And that was his whole business model. Sorry, last thing I'm going to say about it, because I had PC for years until I switched to Apple about 8-10 years ago, maybe 9 years ago, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. The point I'm making, how many years did you have to upgrade McAfee, and keep paying him because he kept coming up with new threats that only he could... Anyway, never mind.
All right.
Mafia, gangster BS.
We digress. But yeah.
Be ashamed if something should happen to your hard drive.
So my man... That
was McAfee the gangster.
Okay, that's the gangster. So
McAfeeano.
My man Aaron got Navabi'd, and in his questioning, he found out that this technology does exist. It is real, and then this is also where we find out that from Ron that someone's watching them at that very moment, which is kind of a cool moment, which is why you played our song. Meanwhile, Red is out doing his own investigation, trying to find out how to get to this Ramona chick, and so he tries to go to a sushi chef who serves
blowfish.
Well, it's called the Fugo Kimo. Yeah, which is the liver of a blowfish.
Yes.
Yeah. Now this is real, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is real.
This is real.
Why someone would want to do this?
I don't understand. Hold your breath for a minute. Your hands tingle and you're fine. You got
this will kill 30 people. But if I cut it just right, I'll give you a total tingling on your lips.
There you go. You want to roll the dice, my man?
Let's do it.
Oh, I've never felt tingling on my lips before. What is that like?
No, thank you.
What the fuss?
No, thank you.
But it's a real thing.
It's real, and people pay big money.
And it better be goddamn mother effing delicious.
It's not. That's the
it
thing.
Tastes like shit.
This is the thing. It better be the best thing I've ever had in my life. I don't understand. So anyway,
so stupid.
That's the best thing. Thank you, sir. That'll be $37,000.
I have no understanding of this.
Yes. Cash or gifts in the card. $37,000, please.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we are going to charge a 3% fee.
Finds the chef, tracks down Ramona. Go into her house. Ramona comes down, and no pants. Who needs pants?
Listen. That adds a lot to the scene. It's very clear that he broke into the house while she was asleep and he waited for her.
I didn't mind at all.
He probably made coffee.
Yeah.
I often leave my pants downstairs. I really do. I get it.
There it is. Oh, pants.
Pants.
She comes downstairs and Red's waiting. And again, a scene we've seen so many times. And I wonder about like him and Dembe, how that routine they have worked out. And you kind of saw a little bit of it when the guy,
the bouncer,
that was
awesome.
And when he got to see Dembe, because Red's never really worried about anything because Dembe has his back, But so often. Red's move is to does he arrange the chair? I want to see him prepare to that moment when someone walks down and Red's already sitting in the chair with a glass of Merlot or whatever.
Well, that's not any fun. You can't see him prepping the moment. You see him just lift. Maybe he goes to lift the table and it's too heavy. You see Red. Oh,
I want
damn
to
it!
see now. Dembe, she should be coming down the stairs here. Can we position this chair here?
Rearrange the furniture.
You be there.
That's the deal, right? That's got to be.
And then you be there out of sight with the gun. And right when she looks, you need to come up and brandish the gun. and whatever. It's always a cool movie. We've seen it so many times. Anyway,
it would be like that SNL sketch with Steve Martin back in the day where he played James Bond on his own dime. Did you ever see that sketch?
No.
Oh, it's great. Oh, it's hilarious. He's at this it's Sting is in it. If you have a chance, check it out. Okay. It's basically behind the scenes, like if it was really on, if James Bond was spending his own money.
Right.
It's like, oh no, how about?
I would love to see it. So she comes downstairs. He does a great red-ish monologue about red stuff, and then outs her.
I love that her father was the patio king from Costa Mesa.
Exactly.
Rachel Hobbs.
Outs her as Rachel Hobbs.
I feel like, oh wait, I must know her.
Costa Mesa. Wait a minute, where'd you go to school?
We're near enough to Costa Mesa for all you folks who are watching who aren't in Los Angeles. It makes perfect sense. When we find out that Ramona is really Rachel Hobbs from Costa Mesa, the three of us went, of course!
Genius.
That was great. Yes.
I can tell you what the guys she dated in high school look like.
Yes, we know.
Every one of them have sunglasses on their heads.
We all know Rachel Hobbs from Costa Mesa. Whose dad is...
Don't they? There's something about the Orange County douche. It's a special thing.
We're all
I cannot stand it.
Oh, so
bro.
So her dad's a pedo king. So
Costa Mesa, bro.
And I like that. Bro. And this is the thing I don't. I get it.
Sorry.
This is the thing I don't like about these things too, because I'm comparing these other shows. Is like they're trying to make some sort of statement about journalism versus online journalism versus these internet folks versus real journalists, and it seemed like most of these shows I watch have a pretty specific point of view and a viewpoint of how they view a lot of these people, and I think it's a little unfair. This is my own personal commentary here. It's a little unfair. I'm referring to Homeland. I'm referring to
the companies that create
House
the
of
shows.
Cards. I'm referring to this, and it's like. It's a weird sort of like
Well, there's an awful lot of crossover between all the what do you call it, the media companies that make the TV and make the content, and also own the news corporations. Yeah. And
it's almost like they're trying to say something to us.
But I think what they're trying to say, without coming out and saying it, is that they're responsible to say things that are actually true.
Right.
And they're fact checking. And everybody who wants to put something online can basically say whatever the hell they want, and there's no fact checking involved. Or if there is, they can say things that are true without saying the other half of it, or without showing the complete picture, and then come out with a point of view. And I think that is irresponsible journalism, and I think it is, and I think that's a fair point.
Well, I think it relates to clickbait culture that he was sort of referring to.
I understand all of that, but it's not to say, and I do know some of these folks that there are some real journalists who do
100%.
Real journalistic shit,
absolutely,
and actually protect their sources and then check their sources and follow and did go to J school in Berkeley and went to all these different places and know their things, and they're not all like a bunch of internet. They're not all like
they're not.
Hobbs from Costa Mesa.
That's fair. But at the same time, I do think it is fair also to say that for every real live someone who's trying to make something happen and doing something on the internet and keeping it all on the up and up and keeping everything fact checked and right, there's 50 people who don't. Sure. And I think that that's fair. And I think that the idea now that you can basically plug all the words you want to into a font and into a structured program to make it look like a legitimate article is I think it lends credibility. Because written word is written word, and we've given it so much credibility in our minds because if you've read it, generally speaking, that means somebody printed it and delivered it to you, so that means someone has vetted it. Now that's gone, and all they have to do is plug it into a program that makes it look like a legit article, and how many times have you looked at something on Facebook or on Twitter, and you've read through it, you've read through the link, and it's taken you another 2 or 3 minutes to figure out the whole article is BS.
Right.
Because it's all, I think that's fair. I think the criticism is fair.
Fair enough. So he then makes Ramona take him to meet Banksy, to meet my man Drexel, and she does show up, and he sort of figures out that Reddington's on to she saw Reddington, and Reddington comes in and saves her, and then basically gets the information that he needs the whole time, which is who commissioned you to do this painting, and when, how, and where, and what, and so that's all he needed. And then he turned.
All he got was the delivery, right? That's all he got.
Just the address.
But he got enough. He got enough, and turned over to the FBI. I will say this. I also want to come back for you, Joe Filippo. It's going back to the post office and the FBI. There were some moments here. There were. We had a couple of moments where I forget when the first time was, but there are 2 times in which Cooper called for the TAC team. They called for
Yes!
I thought of you too!
And you know what I said? FBI, not WTF!
Yes!
I thought the same thing!
It was so good! I was like, look at that!
So happy!
I was like, the grown-ups are in charge?
remember like who the thing got. I'm trying to remember.
It made me so happy. That made because they broke into when they went to Drexel's pad. It was I fully expected
contact the New York field office. I'm like, wait, what now?
Wait a second.
What did he just say?
There's more FBI agents than just
did he just say contact the New York field office?
I love that. That was
you
so
mean
right.
Wrestler was not the first guy through the door?
Anyway, so my gratitude.
I was so happy.
Gratitude.
I was so happy.
So that
then later when they rated, it comes to find out that obviously when they interviewed our man John Adelson the first time, and he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, blah blah blah. And then it turns out that they were dirty, and they did have they had what they call a rat farm.
Yeah.
Where they're identifying these rats and then growing them and then and making them to assets so they can sell to people.
Sell the feeds to people.
Sell the feeds to people.
It's a very disturbing thought.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't like any of that at all.
I don't like any of it at all. It made me very uncomfortable.
And you can see the point of view that the writers had when they called the technology rat. The rat. But in that instance, we also saw the tag team again come in, taking people down.
Yep.
In the rat farm.
Blowing people up.
A lot of digital splatter. There was one digital headshot I saw.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's a headshot on TV.
I don't know about you, but if I'm a programmer and I'm not running. I'm just, hey, my bad. I didn't listen. I don't know. I just thought it was a job. I just got out of college.
Yeah, and I like how John was like, you can't do this. I'm like, dude, they just shot 4 people.
I'd shut up and sit down if I were you.
Have a seat. Have a seat, John. Like, not gonna off.
Well, yeah, one cop pulls a sidearm on me. I'll do anything you want.
I'd be on the ground, spread eagle, like
right?
doing.
I do not have a gun. I do not have a gun. I do not have a gun.
Snowblower flies in the pavement.
I am not a threat to you at all.
Snow angels, thank you, in the pavement. Yeah. So anyway,
Snow butterflies.
I don't know, whatever the kids call them.
That's much less threatening. Snow angels could be scary, maybe to a certain cop. But snow butterflies.
Snow butterflies.
These aren't snow angels. They're snow butterflies.
I'm from Southern California. I don't know what snow is.
Don't shoot me, please. Don't shoot me, please. Don't shoot me.
Haven't seen snow in years. I don't understand what it is.
I think if you tell a cop you're making snow butterflies, if you're laying on the concrete, I'm pretty sure you're going to get drug tested. I think you're probably going to have to blow into a tube.
Oh, it is Chris Chalk. You're right.
Thank you kindly.
Oh, I mean, I think that's Chris Chalk, the guy, but it's Chris. Yeah, that's him.
Thank you kindly.
All right, like
Still
I said, from the guy from Homeland.
Oh yeah, just like you said.
And from Newsroom. Tom Walker.
Newsroom.
Tom Walker.
Yeah, he was great on Newsroom too.
He was Gary Cooper of all people on Newsroom. He was in 12 Years a Slave, and he's on Gotham. He's also in something called Complications, which I've never.
Our man's working.
Yeah, he
is
working.
More than me. Good for him. Oh, he's on Justified too. That's right. Anyway, so like Chris. So they got him. They shut down the rat farm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Clearly, and that was that. So the rat farm shut down. Red found out who the painting belonged to. I mean, found out where to get the painting.
Yes,
right?
from that art dealer.
And we went out and he played that out. And we did that. I want to go back to the whole Tom thing. So Tom's, on his deathbed, presumably, and conveniently, this is what I'm trying to figure out. Like, this is where I got a little lost because I understand exactly what happened, but I understand there's one little note I need to ask a question on. So presumably, Nick. Is his name? Mm-hmm. Dr. Nick.
Dr. Nick
is just happens to be in the yard. That's a coincidence.
Those are long shifts. I mean, the odds are not that bad.
No, I know, but he's the ER doctor, so we presume that that's an accident. And then he goes in and treats Tom, and realizes, oh my God, it's Tom. And so she calls Lizzie. Tom's in here, and the cops are going to come get him. And Lizzie freaks out and does all her freakouts. And then later when she goes in to figure, and she tells Red about it, and Red knew about the heist already, which, how did he know about the heist?
That's my question. How did he know? Yes, he was tipped off that Tom was there.
I know, but is it like his underworld connections, or is it like what you're suggesting?
But Nick said, I told him, it's like, what did you know, Nick? Like, what did you know besides that Tom was there? So I'm just imagining Nick must have told Red that Tom was in the hospital, and then Red just did his little deep dive to find out why and what happened.
I mean, $20 million is a lot of money. It's a lot of diamonds. I don't know. I mean, you got your finger on the pulse of the underworld.
He figured it out pretty quickly. The heist wasn't that good then. He knows his Gina. He knows his Tom. He knows his tens of millions worth of diamonds.
Yeah.
He knows everything. Nick didn't know that.
So, yeah, Nick... But Nick did know. So Nick didn't know anything. Nick was like, I'm just working. Oh, my God, it's Tom Keen. I know this guy. He's Lizzie's guy and everything else. Calls Lizzie, And then presumably later gets a call from Red.
Calls Red.
Oh, he calls Red. Hey.
Calls Red.
He calls Red.
Okay,
Nick calls
he
Red.
works for Red.
No, got it. I work for Red. This is what's happening. So then Red says, "I'm on it." He does a Marcellus. I'm on the mother effer. The wolf will come meet you directly. Chill them niggas out. Excuse me.
Joe Braswell, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Okay, I can do Samuel L. Jackson. You can do Sam Jackson.
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it at
Oh,
all.
please try.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not.
Implore you.
No, the internet
Thanks,
will come down
Negro.
on my head.
Whatever he said. What did he say?
Not happening.
Okay.
Why didn't you say so? Anyway, I don't know what that was from. I blacked out. So, so presumably he calls Red, and Red, says that to him or something like that.
I guess Red could have easily put it together. How many big, huge jewelry heists had there been in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, where a bunch of dudes got shot in a van.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's easy for Red to put that one together. I'll suspend belief for that one.
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
And then
I'll give you one.
You're
Look
welcome.
how generous I am.
Right, and then so Red then makes the arrangements to fix to have
The Mr. Clearkin.
yeah
Clearkin.
Glurkin.
And Nick does give the wink, like, "Don't worry, it's all
I
taken
got you."
care of."
Yeah.
And so
Thank God he was here working for me.
So, like you said, so the police are like, "Well, I guess you didn't do it. We're all fine. We can leave
Thanks,
here."
Pat.
I love
That's
it.
fine. So, but like you said, like he's still got no name in the hospital, and he's I mean, like who is this guy? I mean, that's it. The cops are like, "Well, who are you?" There's no. I mean, I don't know. Tom presumably is just clear.
Well, here's the thing. My understanding is unless the district attorney wants to press charges personally, unless he wants the state to press the state to press charges, it would be up to Glurkin to decide whether or not to press charges. And if Glurkin is saying the guy works for him, was it?
No, it's a quick.
If he's saying the guy works for him, then there's really nothing for the cops to continue to do. It doesn't make sense. Now they're going to investigate the burglary. The insurance company will presumably investigate the burglary. But as far as what Tom is up to, then if there's no reason to investigate it, then why would the detectives continue investigating it?
That's true. So Lindsay loves Tom.
Yeah, apparently.
God damn, does she?
Yeah, I mean,
And she went and looked at the video from him at Wood some darn thing, and to get a kid. I don't remember what is it, adoption agency.
Nice name.
Yeah,
Wood Acres.
Wood Acres.
Like I know. Okay.
Shady Wood Acres. Shady acres of wood. Shady.
Maybe the graphic design department could have did the production department could do a little more work on the Wood Acres website.
It started at Woody Acres, but they decided that was silly, so they just got rid of the Y and they went with Wood Acres.
It's fine. So, so Tom sort of admits that, like, I'm sorry, it was. I don't know what I was thinking. I know, Lizzie.
The rest
Gina,
of us,
the $20 million. I don't know. Forgive me.
The rest of us, when we apologize to our wives, we say, "I was out with Joe Braswell. It got late."
I have heard this before. We did some shots. I was out with Braz. Oh, God.
All right.
But I've also come home with the same excuse.
I know. I was
I'm
going to say,
so sorry. I was out with Braz.
Yes.
We did some shots.
Sorry to all my friends' wives and husbands. That may or may not be true. But anyway, no, but seriously, that's it? Because I feel like that's a pretty big, mistake. Like, yeah, I just, Liz, the diamonds.
It took one time that he gets rejected from a job to just turn.
Pack it in.
Just completely
Breaking
turn.
out.
Go back to what I know. You know what?
Right.
Let me just one last job. As we all know, there's never just one last job.
Never.
At least according to what I've learned about thieves on television,
Yes.
there's never one last job.
And movies.
And
Okay,
she
so.
just doesn't care.
Well, they're in love.
They're in love.
Which I'll buy.
And she's been dickmatized. She's got the magical vagina. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff
A lot
going
of
on.
power going
A lot
on
of
down
power
there. A
plays
lot of
going
magical
on.
I
powers.
mean, Nick's winking. I got you.
You know what I'm
Lizzie,
saying?
I got you, Lizzie.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No, I mean, there's
all here
stardust
for you,
flies
Lizzie.
around when they're banging.
Lizzie,
Let me ask you a question. This is something we haven't touched on.
We have 5 minutes.
I know, that's why I want to touch on it.
Blows fairy dust.
He blows fairy. Never mind. So,
Sorry.
Tickle.
I'm sorry, inappropriate.
It's your fault. All right, so everybody's talking about this, and we haven't touched on it yet. They're all feeling like they need to get out from under Red. They're all feeling trapped by Red, and so it's very gangster. It's very mafia. How do we get out from under? And how do we get out from under? And how do we get out from under? And it sounds to me like we've all been kind of operating under this idea. That Red's been helping Lizzie for so long, but we do have to remember that he put her in this situation in the first place. Yeah, she wouldn't be in this spot if it hadn't been for her.
Arguably,
for him. And,
I don't.
And even so if you take it all the way back,
the situation exists. Like Lizzie is in danger. Shit's going down with Lizzie. Red is interjected into her life to sort of protect her, to watch her. Tom's there, also there to watch her because she's in danger. And Red's whole thing right now is the whole reason I'm hanging out, the whole reason Chris Christopherson Boz is next door, the whole reason I'm still here is because you're safer with me than you are out in the world, because there's some shit out there. People, and now that you're exposed, they're really going to come after you. So Red's not there. Like it could be a chicken egg of like, if there was no Red, would she be okay? But now that I think Red's there to protect her.
Well, I mean, if you go all the way back, right, there obviously is something behind it, right? But they don't really know that yet. They haven't gotten clear on that because Tom was planted before. But was he planted? He was planted initially by Red, right?
Right.
So I mean, anyway, chicken egg it all the way back. But I think it's interesting. We haven't really touched on it. Everybody's feeling so out from under.
No, that's a good take. That's a hot take.
And then why did he turn Drexel in? I don't understand why he turned him in.
Well, because he has to give the FBI something. He's working with the FBI.
You think that was the deal?
He has to give the FBI. His whole thing of the Blacklist is, I got to get to him first. I don't care. He doesn't care. Red doesn't give a shit about these people. Red's like, I just got to get what I can get out of them. They'll give them to the FBI, so that's our relationship. But long as I get what I need out of them first. In fact, I'm feeding them these cases so I can get what I need. They can do all the heavy lifting. I'll come in and sit on a chair with them.
So you think that's it?
Make a couple, do a monologue. I'm out here. Let's do some quick predictions to get out.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I have no predictions.
Oh
God.
Okay, I have a prediction.
Do it.
Okay.
No, well, I predicted before, but I think that this is all leading towards. They're going to keep the baby, but I think that this is all leading toward Katerina or someone taking the baby. This is my grandchild, taking the baby and then going off, and then this being some international hunt for the baby. The promos are writing themselves. Where is the baby?
Spy baby.
Spy baby. Damn it, Nairobi. The number one in the Blacklist is the spy baby, and then whatever it is, and then they're gonna be chasing. Every episode is them finding the baby. Just missed her. You just missed her. There's a pacifier on the floor. There's a beachy right there. Like, damn it. Like that's entire season 4 is the search for the baby. Go. That's my, I like 90% mean that.
So Masha Rostova running through airports with a baby Bjorn. Yes. Kids' heads just flopping back and forth. That's the future.
And all of them not wrestler, but like Tom and Lizzie,
right?
Stop. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't really have anything.
Nothing?
No, Samar's gonna throw an epic baby shower.
Oh yeah, Samar. Yeah, Samar's so happy. That was a little sad little meltdown from Samar, by the way. We'll touch on next day.
Yeah.
The babies are for.
Sorry, I have zero predictions on this one.
No, I'm kind of tapped out too.
Yeah.
Babies are for losers.
Jewels in the corsets.
Careers where it's at. All right. Anyway, poor Samar. All right. I think that's it. Oh, thank you, Marcel. Thank you all you guys. I think I'm onto something too. Joe's Ortiz, Marcella, all you folks, Hannah, Ginny. All the folks that are joining us in the chat room, thank you very much. All the folks who have listened to us last week and every week, we appreciate you very much. Joe Flippo, where can the kids find you?
You can find me on the Twitters at Joe Flippo, JoeFlippo, and my website is josephsanfilippo.com.
You?
Me?
You?
Twitter, Instagram, my name, Julia Cearley, JuliaCearley.
And find me on Twitter and Instagram at Joe K. Braswell, Thank you so much. Chica. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you again next week for episode 16. Darn it! 16 of the Blacklist. Thanks for watching. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.